Welcome back to another video of the Financial Freedom Edge. So yes, we're driving around on a Sunday. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. It is always a good day for door knocking. I think weekends may be a little bit better because you might just get a little bit better a hold of people. So I normally focus on the weekends, but any day is a great day. I just wanted to do this quick little message for you guys, other than the Father's Day. Here's the deal. If you're watching my videos, the algorithm probably thinks you want to get rich, and maybe even through real estate. And if that's even slightly true, here's how I'd recommend to do it right now. What is it? It's June 16th. June 16th, 2024. The best way that I know, in my opinion, to get rich is to house hack. That is to buy a 1 to 4 unit property and to rent out the other bedrooms or other units. And this is possible in every part of the country of the United States of America. I believe wholeheartedly, regardless of interest rates, regardless of anything else, that the way to achieve wealth is to decrease the biggest expense we have, which first for most people is taxes, but second is housing. When you get to taxes, that's a whole nother thing, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not an expert at that. Taxes change so frequently and so consistently that I just don't mess with it. I just pay a CPA, and honestly, that's not even the best strategy. I should really be keeping tabs on my CPA, asking them informed questions. Sometimes you can't know everything, but taxes is one thing I struggle with in particular because it's boring. But it is important. A lot of your dollars go straight to the government, so it is something that you should focus on. The second thing is your housing. That is a huge expense for people. And I know a lot of people, say stop eating the avocado toast and drinking your coffees and stuff like that. And yes, that is a part of the problem. But where you want to start first, the most important thing is look at your biggest expenses. And for most people, housing and transportation and taxes and food are among those. And housing is something that you can absolutely take control over. You can get pre-approved to buy a house and rent out the rooms or a multifamily property. In my opinion, I actually think now with the new rule that they just passed, where you only have to put 5% down on a conventional multifamily up to 4 doors, is the easiest it's ever been to get into multifamily and to reduce your cost of living. And I think we can all agree, with inflation and everything that's been going on, everything is more expensive. Rent is more expensive. Food is more expensive. Eating out is more expensive. Fast food is more expensive. Fixing your glasses like I did yesterday is more expensive. So everything is more expensive. So you need to really scrutinize all of your expenses, housing being one of them. But the reason why I like house hacking so much, not only because I've done it 3 times, on my first property, on my second property, and on my third property, but it achieves multiple goals at the same time. 1, reducing your cost of living, if you do it right. 2, you get yourself into an asset, which is huge. With inflation being the way it is, getting into assets is paramount. It is extremely important. Inflation will increase. It will, just by the very nature of the system, and I can get into the details, but the very nature of our economic policy and the monetary currency, the fiat currency that we use, pushes asset prices higher. So if you can buy, and let's just say you buy the worst deal you possibly can, right? You on market, full price. In fact, you overpay for it. It needs work, high interest rates, high payments. But even if you buy a house and rent out all the rooms and you're still paying exactly what you were paying for rent, maybe even more. Let's say you're paying $1,500 a month for rent. You buy a 3-bed, 1-bath house and your payment's just absolutely ridiculous and you're still paying $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month for rent. And then on top of that, you have repairs and renovations, the roof, the mechanical systems, the HVAC, the water heater. You're responsible for all that stuff. Would I recommend still buying the house? Probably. Yeah, I probably would. Because you have locked in that monthly cost. It will not go higher, which is important. Secondly, you can refinance down the road. So you have the opportunity, if and when interest rates go lower, to lower that cost, which is huge. Well, Brandon, what about the hot water heater? What about the roof? What about the whatever, right? I know exactly what you're talking about because I just dealt with that. I just had a $5,000 HVAC furnace that I had to replace in my first property. And I had a leaky shower that had to be completely ripped out to the studs and started from scratch for $6,000. So I just had to come $11,000 out of my pocket to fix these things, to make it just the way it's supposed to be, right? Not even improve the value, but just fix it so my tenants would continue to feel comfortable living there and paying me rent. But by doing that, what else did I do? Well, I now have a brand new 2024 furnace in my house. So it's not an expense that will be happening for a long time. Knock on wood, right? It's something, furnaces last for, 10, 15, 20 years, knock on wood. And if I go to sell the property, the new owners will not hopefully have to worry about that because it's an expense I already took care of. The shower. Yes, everybody expects a working shower. Fair enough. But when I go to sell the property or when I go to re-rent it to somebody, I can say, good news. Brand new, fully functional, brand new hardware, brand new valves, brand new tile, brand new grout, brand new everything in the shower. Fully remodeled 2024, waterproof, baby. Waterproof everything, looks great. I have the before, during, and after pictures. I can show them the whole process. I have an invoice. All of that adds value, right? Because if I left it the way it was, now it's just an old shower that at some point will leak and have to be redone. Not anymore, because I have paid the cost. Now it is a better shower for renters. It is a thing that has been fixed out of my pocket. Now the next person doesn't have to pay for it, right? So those are things that you need to think about, CapEx expenses, right? But in the long run of house hacking and owning an investment property and owning an asset, I think that is the best way to get rich. Because here's the thing, you guys. No matter how great you are at the stock market, let's say you can get 20 or 30% return on your money. Let's say you can do that because you're better than everybody else. And then let's say you can do that consistently over time for 5-10 years. At some point, you will lose money. You just will, right? The house always wins, in my opinion. I'm not a stock guy. I have stock investments. I think it's great. It's good diversification, but you have no leverage with your stocks. Unless you buy dividend stocks, you have no cash flow. You cannot depreciate a stock. You can only hope that it appreciates in value. And I say hope because you have no control over the stock market, no matter how good you are. So I think because real estate gives you more of those ways to make money, and you need a place to live anyways, house hacking is the way to go, in my opinion. I think, can you do some things poorly? Absolutely. Can you buy a funky layout that people aren't going to like or that renters aren't going to like? Sure. There's crappy houses that you shouldn't buy. Can you extremely overpay for a property? Absolutely you can. Can you buy a property on a double yellow line that's surrounded by homeless encampments and drug addicts and stuff? Yes. Is that a great buy? No. There's a bunch of bad decisions you can make with real estate, but I think it's simple enough. It's not as complex as the stock market, right? Because you're having to look at, EBITDA, you're having to look at, year over year returns. Are they a national or an international brand? You have to look at their holdings. You have to look at their equipment. You have to look at their expenses. You have to look at their P&Ls. And you have to compare that, right? So, then you have to look at other people's in that same industry. And then you have to look at the industry as a whole. Is that like a good industry to invest in? Real estate is probably one of the biggest sectors, because if you step outside, you're going to see real estate, whether it be commercial, residential, what you guys know what I'm talking about, manufacturing, right? Industrial. It's huge. So, and real estate's not going away. People need a place to live, regardless, right? People need businesses to operate their storefronts, right? Maybe now to a lesser degree because there's the internet, but people always need a place to live. So when it comes down to it, you guys, I think the best strategy, if you're struggling, trying to get rich, or working 3 jobs like I am, if you're hustling and doing everything, I think seriously, please, watch more videos. Don't take my word for it. Watch more videos. I think house hacking, a single family, duplex, triplex, or fourplex, is the way to go. Are interest rates high? Yes. Will they come down at some point in the history of interest rates? Yes. Will you be able to refinance and lower your interest rate? Yes, if you continue to qualify. Talk to your mortgage lender. Make sure your debt to income ratio isn't too high. Make sure that you still have the same job, that you're on W-2, right? However you qualified the first time is how you're going to qualify for the refi. So keep those things the same. Pay off debt. Don't incur a bunch of needless expenses. Don't mess up your credit score, right? Continue to focus on all those things. But you need a place to live anyways. And if you can have other people helping you pay that mortgage, it's only to your benefit in multiple ways. So that is how I would get rich right now, today, in 2024. That's how I started back in 2019, and that's how I would start right now.